the Illini announced who's going to be representing them at Big Ten Media Days. We're going to talk about who they picked and why. Locked On Illini, let's go.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. My name is Sunny Verma, your host here at Locked On Illini, where I continue to provide you coverage daily. That's right, every single day of the orange and blue. Everything is absolutely free. The only thing I ask for in return is to make sure you guys hit that like button while you're watching. It just lets me know you guys are watching and that it's worth the effort each and every day to continue to produce content for you guys, even during the slower offseason that we seem to be in right now. Speaking of the offseason, I feel like the offseason is slowly coming to an end, at least when it comes to football, because we had the official announcements of who the representatives are going to be for each individual team at Big Ten Media Days later on in Vegas later on this month. To me, it's the unofficial kickoff to college football season. It's where coaches and players drop hints, set the tone, and kind of give fans like us something to chew on before camp actually starts. And this year's event's got a completely different vibe because for the first time ever, it's going to be held in Las Vegas. That's right. 18 teams, 72 players, 3 full days of wall-to-wall coverage, and the national spotlight beaming down on one of the most loaded conferences in the sport. So you might be asking, who's representing the orange and blue? Well, I've got the answer for you. Quarterback Luke Altmyer, offensive lineman J.C. Davis, and defensive back Xavier Scott. No fluff here. These are 3 veteran dudes, leaders, guys who've been through it, and this is not just a feel-good, hand the mic to whoever kind of selection. I think this was pretty strategic. Let's talk about why each guy was chosen and what it kind of tells us about where Illinois is headed in 2025. First off, let's start with quarterback Luke Altmyer. I think it was very notable last year that Luke Altmyer wasn't selected, and there were some whispers about whether Luke could take that next step and kind of step into a proper leadership role that Bret Bielema and quite honestly Barry Lenny Jr. the year before had privately talked about him needing to do. Well, he absolutely did it. Little backdrop on Luke Altmyer, of course. Transferred from Ole Miss, took over the starting job in 2023, showed flashes of talent, mobility, accuracy, and poise under pressure, but he also showed inconsistency, which, to be fair, wasn't all on him. He took some shots behind that offensive line, but now heading into 2025, it's going to be his offense. And Bret Bielema sending him to Las Vegas, that tells me something loud and clear. He's not just QB1. Those concerns from a year ago, they're gone. In fact, Luke Altmyer now is the voice of the team. This is a kid who's matured a lot over the last couple of years. You can see it in how he carries himself. You can hear it in the way teammates talk about him. He's got command of the huddle. And now he's got the trust of the staff to represent the program in the biggest offseason stage. This is his moment. This is his platform. And I think Luke knows that. He knows that if Illinois is going to be able to get back to another bowl game, if they're going to compete in this new stacked Big Ten, well, quite honestly, it's going to start with Luke Altmyer. I think this was a fantastic pick. Luke represents a lot of us Illini fans in the sense where we all know his offseason. We all know the SEC teams that came calling, offering 7-figure amounts to transfer over to their school. But Luke believes in what Bret Bielema and the coaching staff is building in Champaign. And so I think he was the perfect guy. And I was very relieved to see that Luke is going to be the one representing the Illini up there on the stage, because you can tell he is a perfect representative in the sense where he's not just talking the talk. He had opportunities to leave, but he didn't. He's walking the walk. He believes in the Illini, and that's who I want talking to the national media in Vegas later this month. Next up, we have J.C. Davis, a guy who I don't think necessarily gets all the love that he deserves all the time. This guy also came back for a reason. After the Citrus Bowl, he could have called it a career, could have chased the league, could have moved on, but he didn't. He announced shortly thereafter that he was coming back. Why? Unfinished business. Davis is the rock on that offensive line. His presence is absolutely massive. He's not flashy, he's not loud, but you talk to anybody around the program and they'll tell you that he's one of the most respected voices in that locker room. Having him at media days, to me, sends another clear message that Illinois wants to win in the trenches. This is a Bret Bielema team after all. Run the ball better, protect Luke Altmyer, set the tone physically. And I think Davis is going to be a huge part of that. And finally, we've got the headliner on defense, and that's Xavier Scott. If you watched him last season, you know Xavier Scott was that guy. 49 tackles, 2 picks, one of them a pick 6. He was named National Defensive Player of the Week after that dominant performance against Kansas. He made the AP All Big Ten first team. He was Jim Thorpe semifinalist, and let's be real, there were folks who thought he could declare for the draft. In fact, I think he's certainly going to be in the NFL draft and maybe even pretty high up next year. But Xavier passed on the draft this past season. He chose to come back. And to me, that is one of the biggest wins of the offseason. I think Xavier is the heartbeat of this defense, a guy who's produced, who's vocal, who brings confidence, brings swagger. And I'm telling you, in a Big Ten that now includes USC, Oregon, Washington, you better have those guys in the secondary who can cover, tackle, and make plays on the ball. And that's exactly what Xavier Scott does. He's going to be the focal point of a lot of offensive game plans this year. And you know what? He's going to love it. So let's take a second real quick, zoom out. Altmyer, Davis, Scott. Offensive, line of scrimmage, defensive. It's not a coincidence. Illinois making a statement here. They're showing that they've got balance. They've got leadership at all 3 levels. And they're not leaning this year on one side of the ball to carry the weight. The fact that Davis and Scott both announced their return shortly after the Citrus Bowl, that's continuity. That's veteran presence. And it gives the team something that a lot of rosters don't have in this new transfer-heavy era. That's identity. These aren't just guys who've been here. These guys are guys who've built something here. 2 years ago, Illinois came into the football season with pretty high expectations. And let's be honest, they faltered a bit to a 5-7 record. Last year, Illinois, I think, surpassed everyone's expectations and finished the year with a 10-2 record. But now the year is 2025. And if you look around the conference, with all the changes, the additions, the travel, stability matters. Illinois is returning its starting quarterback. It returns its offensive line leader. It returns its top defender. It returns its offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. These are all pieces you can build around. In my opinion, by sending them to Las Vegas, Bret Bielema is telling the rest of the league that, hey, we're not backing down. And let's not forget that this isn't just a local media hit. Big Ten Media Days this year is a 3-day coast-to-coast production, live coverage on Big Ten Network, interviews, pressers, analysis. And with the move to Vegas, there's more attention than ever. This is a chance for Illinois to really start to get that national exposure. And for those 3 players to represent not just their teammates, but the entire program. Recruits are watching. Opponents, coaches are watching. The rest of the country is watching. How you carry yourself on media days matters. And with Altmyer, Davis, and Scott up there at the podium, I think Illinois is in pretty good hands. So closing thoughts, Illinois is sending 3 legit men to the Big Ten Media Days, and it's a reflection of where this program is headed. Luke Altmyer, QB1 with something to prove. Davis, the captain in the trenches, and Scott, the star defensive back with all-American upside. These guys aren't just going to be spokesmen, they're going to be tone setters. And as we head into fall camp, I expect them to be at the center of everything Illinois is trying to build. You let me know in the comment section, do you think they made the right call on the three guys that they did pick? I think they did. I like the fact, again, Luke was the big one for me, but going with Xavier Scott and Davis, I think they picked the three right guys. But if you disagree, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the greens, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. Again, I've already told you guys, I've got my eyes locked on PCA on the Cubs. I have them at plus 8,000 and plus 5,500 to win the National League MVP. Right now, he's the second favorite, I believe, right behind Shohei Ohtani. So that's going to be something I'm going to be following along all summer long. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. And welcome back. Last week, I talked a great deal on this show about Will Riley and Kasper Siakis getting drafted to the NBA. Good luck to those future Illini. But on this segment, I wanted to waste no time. Well, at least ESPN wasted no time, so I figured we'd kind of talk about it. I'm talking about future Illini that might be making an appearance in not just the NBA draft, but in the NBA. I know it's early, but when Jonathan Givony and Jeremy Woo from ESPN drop a full 60-pick mock draft, I'm going to talk about it. And you know why? Because there's 3 Illini players on it. Ultimately, this could be a mock that tells a much bigger story about how far this program continues to come and what Brad Underwood continues to build in Champaign. Illinois is now suddenly one of the top NBA pipelines in the entire country. So let's break it down. Let's talk about who made the list, what the analysts are saying, and maybe why this is such a big deal for the future of Illini basketball. Let's start off with the headliner, Andrej Stojakovic, who's projected at number 45 overall. Now, if you're a college basketball junkie, you already know the name, former McDonald's All-American, transferred in from Cal. But what ESPN is saying, and quite honestly, what a lot of outlets are saying, is that Stojakovic has legit NBA tools. Andre is 6'7" wing with a positional size, unteachable craftiness, and requisite athleticism, which in scout speak means this dude can get buckets and he's got the frame to make it work at the next level. But there's one big if. He's got to shoot better. He only shot 31.8% from 3 last year. And if you're a 6'7" wing trying to stick it in the NBA, you need to be closer to 38 to 40%. That's the gap he's certainly going to have to close. But I'll say this, transferring to Illinois in the system that we run, I think could be the smartest move he could have made. Because Underwood's system is going to let him play in space. He's going to get clean looks. He's going to be surrounded by other shooters, bigs who can pass, and he's going to get coached. So if you're asking me, do I think Stojakovic can boost that draft stock over the course of the season? Absolutely. And if he does, I think mid-40s can turn into early 30s, possibly end of the first round real quick. Next up, we have Tomislav Ivicic, who's projected at number 48 overall. Look, if you're a scout, you see a legit 7-footer who shot 35.7% from 3, you have to be interested, period, especially with the way the NBA game is going. And that's what Tomislav brings. He's not just a big body, he's an absolute stretch five with a great feel for the game. ESPN noted his passing instincts, his pick and pop ability, and a comfort level that you just don't see in many college bigs. The knock, well, us Illini fans can probably confirm, it's athleticism. He's not twitchy. He's not a lob threat. He's not going to be a switch everything guy defensively. But the league is changing. It's not just about rim runners anymore. You need bigs who can shoot, who can pass, and who can think the game. And that is Tomislav Ivičić. I'm going to reference my friends at Writing Illini for the second straight day. They did a great job pointing out this, that in the right system, like a Sacramento, Utah, or even Boston, Tomislav could thrive. Give him floor spacing and a point guard who knows how to use the rim, and you've got a real solid second unit piece, or maybe a late first type if things break right. Next up, we have his brother, Zvonimir Ivičić, who's projected at number 60, which is also the final pick in the draft. Don't let the number fool you. Zvonimir has real tools. In fact, he might be the best pure shooter of the three I've mentioned in this segment. He shot 37.6% from three over 2 seasons. And this is a guy that's over 7 feet tall. His offensive game is probably more limited than Tomislav's. He doesn't have the same passing nor the instincts or the feel. But if you just need a floor stretching big who can pick and pop, Zvonimir fits that mold. I'll say this, though. If he doesn't make a leap this year defensively, I think he's probably a two-way guy to start. That's fine, right? I mean, NBA teams are always stashing guys like this. And if he gets in the right development program, he can still get a shot. Or maybe this is the year that Andre goes to the NBA and his brother Tomislav goes to the NBA, and Zvonimir gets 2 seasons with Illinois and Orlando Antigua to really get himself ready for the next level. 2 guys that were mentioned but not on the list, Kylan Boswell and Mihajlo Petrovic. Boswell averaged over 12 points, close to 5 boards, and 3.4 assists last year. Good defender, tough, strong frame, but the three-point shooting was tough, 24.5%. And his decision-making in transition needs polish. That's the hurdle. If he cleans that up, though, I'd expect him to possibly sneak in the later round as well. And then there's Petrovic, who isn't even officially in Champaign, I think, due to those visa issues. But if and when he gets here, I think scouts are going to at least be intrigued and have their eye out on him. He averaged 14 and 7 overseas, long, smart, and can pick and roll. And I do think that the reputation of European players and the league has gotten more positive, and that experience that Petrovic has matters more now. Teams aren't afraid of international guards. Petrovic could be the next guy to rise if he's able to adjust quickly to the college game. So taking a step back, 3 players in 1 mock draft. Okay, sure, nobody as high as we've had the last couple of years with Ayo, Terrence Shannon Jr., Will Riley, and Kasper Siakis. These 3 guys are maybe lower in the mock drafts, but again, it's 3 guys in an NBA draft. That hasn't happened at Illinois since 1990, back when Kendall Gill, Marcus Liberty, and Stephen Bardo were putting on a show. We're talking about a potential record-setting draft class for Illinois here. And this just comes 1 year after Kaspersky went 20th to Miami and Will Riley went 21st to Washington. You're talking about 5 legit NBA prospects in just 2 years. I'll repeat myself. 5 NBA prospects in just 2 years. I'll say it again. This isn't a fluke. This is what Brad has been building ever since he got to Champaign. He's not just trying to win Big Ten games. Of course, he wants to, but he's building a program that's going to develop pros. And right now, that plan is working. According to ESPN's numbers, only Duke has more projected picks in the 2026 mock than Illinois. Duke has 5, Illinois has 3. We're tied with Florida, Michigan, and Houston. Again, you're talking about some of the best programs in the entire country. If you're a recruit watching this, if you're a parent, if you're a European agent or an AAU coach, you're starting to take notice. Illinois is on the map as an NBA factory. We've got the staff, we've got the development plan, the exposure, and now we've got the track record. It's not hype anymore, it's a fact. So, yeah, June 2026 is still a long way off. A lot of things can change. Guys can rise, guys can fall, guys come out early, they can stay one more year. But when ESPN, the biggest outlet in the game, puts 3 Illini in their mock draft, that's a big deal. And it means one thing above all else: Illinois is doing something right. Brad Underwood is building a system where NBA dreams don't just survive, they thrive. And quite honestly, I think we're just getting started. And welcome back. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button on this particular video, and do me a favor, send it to any other Illini fans in your life. Right now, during the offseason, when things are absolutely slow, maybe it is a good chance to kind of continue building on this community that I'm trying to build. I think I got the best one out there when it comes to the Illini in our Discord. The link is in the description. We have over 300 Illini fans discussing Illini sports, professional sports, life, everything, all day, every day. So I do welcome you to join us, or you know what, send me an email, talkillini@gmail.com. If there's something in particular you want me to talk about, it's my show technically, but I like to get as much feedback and comments from you guys as possible. I have dialogues almost every single day. You can find me on your favorite social medias. You can find me at Talk Illini, Locked On Illini, whatever you guys want. I always appreciate the feedback. The only thing I ask is, as long as you guys keep it constructive. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Coleman Hawkins. Coleman Hawkins is going to get an invite to play with the Golden State Warriors. So our good old friend, Brendan Podzensky, is going to be on the same team as Coleman. Coleman is going to be on the Summer League team. Hopefully, he's going to be able to show enough that he can maybe stick around and at least get some sort of training camp invite. Again, one of the most beloved players of recent memory when it comes to Illini Nation. I do know that everyone in the orange and blue is going to wish nothing but positive vibes towards Coleman. Depending on what time you're watching this, J.C. Anderson is going to be making his announcement, the tight end from Southern Illinois. This was a recruitment that, quite honestly, I was feeling very, very good about for the last couple months. But it looks like it may not work out for the Illini in this particular case. I think both Auburn and Ole Miss have been very aggressive in the pursuit of JC, and they've offered things that I don't think that Illinois is too comfortable offering to a prep recruit right now. So again, if this turns out the same way the Max Sutter recruitment works out, so be it. Those are still 2 very good young tight ends from the state of Illinois. And yeah, we hate that we lost them, but the fact that we did recruit Will Vala for this exact reason earlier on, he committed just a few weeks ago. I still feel very positive about the momentum that Bret Bielema has recruiting for Illinois this year. I know a lot of Illini fans, in particular in the Discord that I mentioned earlier, are starting to get frustrated that we've lost, I think, 3 recruitments in a row. And sure, it's kind of a pain in the butt that we keep losing to Alabama and some of these other SEC teams. But guys, that's just how things go sometimes. We won a lot of recruitments in a row for a 2-3 week stretch. I think 1 week I had 5 breaking news episodes just of recruitments that we had. And so sometimes things are going to slow down. I don't think the big picture changes much. I still think that Illinois is going to be able to finish comfortably in a top 30 class next season, but maybe even top 25. And who knows? If some things break the right way or you get a flip or two, you're talking about maybe top 20. And speaking as an Illinois fan, that would be absolutely surreal. Speaking of the future of Illinois football, Carson Gordy did a very in-depth interview with Nazir Rankin, the top Illinois recruit, and he reiterated what we've been hearing all before, that he's going to play on both sides of the football, and he's going to play both football and basketball. I quote, "My freshman year, probably offense. They said as soon as I get the plays down, I can definitely transition over to the defensive side of the ball too." So again, this is happening. This is one of the things that Nazir definitely wanted. This is one of the things that the team around him they were very vocal about it, and the fact that they want Nazir to not just play football, but they at least want him to give a shot playing basketball. Overall, how it's going to work out, we don't know. We'll see, but we'll let time figure that out. I think this is just, he's too big of a recruit that whatever he wants, you kind of have to give it to him, with limitations, of course. So Nazir is one of those guys who, who knows, maybe he is the next Travis Hunter. All I know is I'm really glad that he's going to be doing it in the orange and blue. And thank you for making Locked On Illini your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes in the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's going to just about wrap it up for me today. Again, let me know in the comments if there's something you liked about this episode, what you didn't like, what you agreed with, what you don't agree with. And of course, please reach out to me. I love hearing from you guys. Hey, look, I'm going to be in Chicago over the next couple of months at the very least. So reach out to me. I'd love to, if you're in the west suburbs or you're making a trip out here, I'd love to meet up with this community and, get a picture together, grab a bite to eat. I always look forward to meeting more and more people that are watching the show each and every day. Special shout out to my everydayers and the audio listeners. We continue to grow on the audio side. I sincerely do appreciate you guys, and make sure you leave a 5-star review if you get the opportunity. Until next time, ILL. Love you guys.